earthquake below Skinwalker Ranch and what may have been the cause of it. I was involved in a project um, with some other viewers. There was some kind of a ground quake. It moved some heavy um, objects above the surface, and I wanted to look into. Well, I wanted to show you guys what we came up with. Again, this was all blind. Let's see. See if I could. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. Okay, so the task was to see to identify what was the cause of the earthquake below the ranch. Actually, this is a property adjacent to the ranch. Um, but actually, I think on the show there was an episode where they actually felt these tremors. Um, and again, this was all blind. And I saw one or two other sessions on this project, so it seems to be consistent with what they got as well. So right out of the gate, I've got this spinning rotation. I have like AOL's rotational gapping. All right, vibrating. It's dark, sense of gaseous. Okay, so here's my first big image. I'm getting this big rotating, to me almost looks like a fan at the time. I'm getting a sense of this gas. So what I ended up getting really, fluxing, um, I got a sense that they are drilling on that property and underneath Skinwalker Ranch, underneath the ranch and around the ranch, there seem to be doing some kind of nuclear drilling. Um, so when you see some of these big void, what I believe is happening, I don't know, but what seems like they're building tunnels to get in and out of this area to get to this artifact, this whatever's under the ground there, the base, whatever it is. But during the process of boring out this tunnel, there was some kind of gas explosion. Um, so what they're doing down there, I mean, why they're doing it, I couldn't tell you. All I could tell you is it seems that, like gas escaping, that they are boring out these massive tunnels below the ranch and around the ranch. Um, so it's really interesting. It's like strange to me that they would sell the ranch off and yet they take everything underground. So there's something really interesting going on underneath that ranch. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. So I had all this like tunneling equipment, um, like footings. Um, I want to show you what I was talking about. Touch point systems, sensors, digging. Okay, so here's like kind of a. And I want to show you real quick what these things kind of look like. It's very similar to what I saw in session. Remember, this is all blind. So they have these patents for these nuclear um, boring machines. Okay, I don't know if this is the exact model or whatever, but it's basically um, not so much drilling straight down, but they're down, they're drilling straight out in and around the property. So it's similar to this. So let's keep going down here. So it had life. It was involved in suits. People were in suits. I get a sense of pump. This is like servos. Oh, yeah, well, a lot of sketching. Let's see. Getting stage force. Bridge. You get the sense of two of something. Bridging. Antenna closure. Fissure. Irreparable damage. Eminent domain. Renovation. Some of this, it's been a while since I've done this session, so I can't remember what's in here. Sense of assembly required. A pinch point. Choke point. Feel like I'm in space. A green gas. Okay, radioactive. Radioactivity. Collecting, sampling, an encasement. Shielding. Okay. Depth measurements. Radionics. Scanning. High-powered camera lens. Phasing. Sense of crafting. 3D mapping. Hydrons. Sense of working order. Pinpoint accuracy. Let's see. Turbine engine. Sense of packed or package payload, like a depth charge. Slanted. Sense of slight angle high-rise equation. Tunnel, like tunneling. Narrow. Okay. Narrow margin. Specs. Sense of attachment, like a sidearm. A sense of something is opening here, like unfolding on its own. Pulsing. Like an energy blast. Like drilling or mining. Energy source. Impenetrable. I get the sense something opens or unfolds here. Again, so I get all this motion. Here we go. There's a good kind of this turning, this spinning, this up and down, drilling, basically. And then here's like a crude drawing of like this little like soil collector thing or something. I'm not sure. Sense of outflow, rotation and penetration, suction, geared assembly, highly frictious, rotational gapping, like high stakes mining. Okay, tempered, regulator, heat pump, gapped teeth, torque, easement, ball bearings, a sense of high and low speed movement about this structure, collapsible, uh, sampling sensory data, mining, cylindrical, heat coil. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I had a sense there was like a broken part on this thing, like something got too hot, um, like a diamond tipped drill bit, layered, processing speeds, like a grab or hook cinch. Cold fusion, gaseous state, gaseous emissions, uh, metrics, ordnance, twisted metal gears. Okay. Targeted structure had a sense of a white, high polished silver, gray, red, blue, bright, black, gold, flashing, shadowy, green, and shiny colors, and qualities of light early on. Dimensions of the target were angled, rounded, long, pitched, sloping edge, narrow, thin, small, oblong, tapered, wide. I think it's patterns, flange, spiky, liquidy, billowing, emanating, open, airy, broad, fibrous, and deep, jagged, multiple, rising, hollow, permeating, radiating, rumbling, quickly, quaking, soft, pulsing, dimensional aspects to the structure. I had felt warmth coming from the structure, humming sounds, a sense of metallic and rigid. My first sketch felt as if I were getting pulled into a slow rotation of a structure. This conical structure, vibrating, pulsating, some kind of movement. Second sketch, a long tapered structure, a sense of something emanating, and again, a sense of rotation. Uh, Structure, jagged aspects on page 6, feels as if a part of the overall structure. Metallic object, sense of movement here. Felt the structure protruding from something. Sense of collapsible, clasping and holding. Started to come in. Rounded structure, sense of two silver cylindrical objects moving and felt something or things protruding from it, from the center. I get a sense of a bridge or bridging, a sense of an antenna, a closure, a fissure, a sense of uh, penetration, seam, and clavicle. I got a sense of audible transmission and carrier wave. Got a sense of assemble or assembly, a sense of clasping or pinch point. I felt I was surrounded by black skies or in space. It was dark. I got a sense of cross-contamination, green gases, radioactivity, radionics, I got a sense of encasement. On page 14, I got a sense of a heat shield and a folding and unfolding. I got a sense of sectional absorption, rotational gapping, a sense of slow rotation, and a sense of core sample assembly. On page 15, I got a sense of a swinging, sweeping motion, a sense of the depth, measurement, scanning, a sense of high-powered camera and lenses, a sense of phasing, crafting, and 3D mapping a model, a sense of hydrons, working order and pinpoint accuracy. I got the sense of a shelf, a sense of distribution, a sense of their thin turrets, a turbine, collection data assembly, a sense of packed or package. I get the sense of payload, slanted, a sense of um, slight angle and high-rise equation. I get a sense of narrow margins, a sense of specs, and the sense of an attachment. It was actually the high-rise equation has something to do with, I don't know. Page 17, I get a sense of something unfolding on its own. Again, pulsing, energy source, a sense of impenetrable. Sense of mechanisms here. Sense of rotational movement as well as back and forth or up and down movement in my top sketch. A sense of high-speed movement, outflow, clasp, holding in place, something happening that's highly frictious again. Collapsible, sampling and sensory data. A sense of a hole, a data port, and a heat coil. Cloths are covered, a sense of layered. Processing speeds, trainable and fusion, hook or cinch. Cold fusion, gaseous state, gaseous emission, a housing, parts replacement, metrics and ordnance, crushed twisted metal and gears. Session end. Okay, so yeah. So if hopefully this stuff comes out. But from the perspective of me and some of the others, as far as what caused the ground swells or the ground quaking, um, someone seems to be boring tunnels below the ranch and around the ranch. So to get there, to get out, to get to whatever's down there, seems to be part of whatever they're doing down there. So I just want to share with you guys some of the more interesting stuff that I do. If you guys ever do it, if you're remote viewers, you could blindly test some of this stuff. Maybe you have something similar. Maybe you have something completely different. Let me know. But I'm going to continue sharing some of these more interesting sessions, and hopefully somebody gets something out of it. So thanks, guys.